with a level of professionalism that I have never before witnessed in my entire career. I thank God for your mature, your compassionate, your loving spirit, even in the midst of your pain. You're not lashing out at anyone else. Instead, your concern is the entire family. I thank you for that. I salute you for that. And I want you to know that the reason I'm here standing strong with you and your sisters this morning is because you have touched me in a way that it's been a long time since anything. I've been in radio a very long time. And as you know, because you've been in, as well as the ladies with you, black radio is an entirely different industry. It's almost an industry unto itself. Mm-hmm. And it's been a long time since anything has moved me the way you and your spirit and your soul and the God spirit that resides in you has been exhibited. I thank you for that, and I apologize on behalf of my company that you had to endure this level of pain in order to show the greatness of black womanhood. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I mean that quite sincerely. One of the things that I want to say, and I want to repeat it throughout the morning, is I know that we got a whole bunch of people who are not KISS listeners tuned in this morning, expecting to hear part 2 of confusion and chaos and self-hatred and disrespect. None of that is going to exist because of this sister, Danni Starr, who did not take any reservation, did not have any hesitation about putting the overall good of the family show ahead of her own pain. And so I want those who are visiting us to hear something that maybe caused them to realize that we do it a little differently at Radio 1. That's not to say that we're perfect. Nobody is perfect. God is the only perfect entity that any of us will ever know. But we try to do it a little differently. It's not just about ratings and revenue, the R&R that govern all of media. We're not going to be beating each other over the heads and calling each other names and acting ignorant and crazy. We leave that for the White House and politicians. All right, that's what we're about. And I have been in business almost 40 years now, and never once in that 40 years has money been more important to me than my people and the example that we set for my people, my community. The DMV depends on us to set the standard of how black folks should correctly exhibit who we really are. We have a campaign called Represent. Mm-hmm. We are to represent who we really are. We're to represent our culture, our community, our people, our God, our families. And yesterday was not a representation of who we are. I had to say to myself, I guess Oprah didn't want to be the only one to have a wrinkle in time, because I was born, I was back in the 1700s. I was like, darn, my morning show at KISS is something. They can take themselves back to the 1700s. Okay. And tell a strong black woman that I'm allowing you to speak? No, that's not what we do at any of my facilities. And I also want to thank all of the thousands of men and women who have come on social media and not been vicious, not tried to stir the fire, but expressed what DJ Silver's wife had the courage to come on air in front of her own husband and say, that was just wrong. You don't need to take it any further. You don't need to explain. People know what wrong means. You don't need to go into detail. You don't need to rehash. You just need to know that wrong and right cannot exist in the same space. So we're going to get this right. And so once again, I thank the ladies for getting up early, coming in. Yes. And but most importantly, Danni Starr, I mean quite sincerely, if I ever get around to writing the book everyone tells me that I should write about my career, girl, you done gone from a page to a chapter.
Speaking of books, Miss Hughes, I wrote one and you should read it.
On Amazon, I'm just
Thank you, Miss Hughes. Thank you so much for your words it has been a tough 24 hours for not only me, but for the members of the fam in the morning. And,
absolutely. And the audience.
And the listeners. And you know, what I honestly don't have the right words because it has been such a debacle. And I've been in radio since I was 19 years old. I'm 33. And I have worked with some really awful men. I really have. We all have.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't stay with my team if I actually believed they were awful men.
Right.
And a shift happened. I showed them a little bit of compassion online yesterday, and then it was, you're not a strong woman and you got to hold your ground. Let me tell you something. I have 2 daughters, and my mental health matters more than anything. More than anything. And as somebody who struggles with mental health, forgiveness for me to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened?
Danni, it's the key for all of us to survive.
Absolutely. And so what happened yesterday was a debacle. There are things you know, there are things you don't know, and there's a lot, you know, and as listeners, I thank you for showing support, but I ask you this. We are all human, and the whole thing was a mess, but I genuinely love my job, and I genuinely love this show. I like the people that I work with. Yes, it was messed up. It was stupid. There are all kinds of words I can use for what happened yesterday, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm only human myself, and to see some of the comments made about Quick and his family, that's not, I don't want anybody to tear somebody down to lift me up. If you're going to lift me up, just lift me up.
That's as wrong as what occurred yesterday. You are so right. That is wrong, okay? And that's what we are not going to go any further into is wrong.
Yeah, and I'm just so thankful for, one, your support. I'm thankful for the support of the fellas who have been in constant contact since yesterday. I'm thankful for the ladies of KYS. I'm thankful for every member of Radio 1, of Urban 1 who has reached out, the personal phone calls, all of that. But at the end of the day, for me, forgiveness is about my mental health, and I forgive everybody involved. It's not even, you know, people don't know everything, and that's fine, and they don't have to know everything. But the bottom line is this: we are all human. We make mistakes. We move forward, and this is a chance and an opportunity for growth. For me, for everybody who experiences, who heard that, because there were women who heard that and who cried with me and who were upset and who were angry. But this is a moment for growth and to own your own power and to shine your own light and to never, ever let anybody dim your light. But here's the thing. I don't want to dim anybody's light either. And people mess up, but I'm not trying to take away the light of something so beautiful that we have built as a team. And so I ask that, one, people give a little grace to the fellas, because, listen, fellas can be stupid sometimes.
Wait, isn't it amazing how sometimes men can become totally disconnected from logic?
Yes. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Completely. You know,
can we park it there? Do we have time?
Right. And in the heat of the moment, like, there is no part of me that believes that two people who, you know, my kids love and that have had me in their houses and who have mended, like, I have literally slept on DJ 5'9's couch sick as hell, and he has nursed me back to health. So there's no way in my mind that I believe, like, what happened yesterday and that it couldn't have been heat of the moment, or, like, you know, we're in this moment and we don't know how to get out of it. But at the end of the day, what happened. Was I hurt? Absolutely. Am I going to be okay? You're damn right. Because the only way I know how to do it, Miss Hughes, is to survive. I am a survivor. I've always been a survivor. It is what I do best. And this is just another hurdle, and it's fine. Everything is going to be okay.
Another challenge. You know, it's so very interesting because it hurts even deeper when it is someone that you care about, that you know cares about them. But having a couple more years experience than all of you combined, quite frankly. One of the things about opening that mic in radio that does not occur in television or cable in the news, but sometimes you get into a spin. It's almost like a plane crash, and you can't stop yourself. Been there, done that. And you're like asking your mouth and your brain, what are you doing? Okay? And you just keep spinning out of control. And the more you try to stop, And the more you try to get it under control, the worse the tailspin down becomes. And that's when, Angie, I'm glad that you're on the board, okay, that you're producing, because that's when the button gets pushed.
Come on now.
That's when someone else has to intervene and say, oh, we forgot about a commercial break. Go on to commercial break, okay? All right, to regroup. And so you're absolutely correct. But what you just said, Danni, Starr, is what I'm saying to you. Who would have that type of attitude within 24 hours?
Okay.
I realized that in all my decades of being alive, of all my decades of being on the radio, I was not at that point of growth that you showed me. You've like held a mirror up to women's faces and said, you know, hey, okay, this is how we must be, because it really is about peace and contentment, which is the essence of mental health. And that's what anybody can argue. It's harder to love, much harder, particularly when you've been wrong, particularly. And you have been so transparent, sharing with this audience every day that you're on this microphone, the pain that you suffered in, you know, your father bringing home a child. You got a sister, okay, 3 months difference in age. Your husband, you've been honest about how you come to the conclusions and the opinions that you have. You just don't wake up one morning and come in there and say, oh, I think X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You've been transparent. You've been honest. You've been open. And that's what I'm asking, particularly those who are not part of the family normally in the morning. They come from other stations and other areas looking for bad news. That's not what you're going to get today. What you're going to get is the sisterhood at the very top doing a make good on International Women's Day.
Right. We needed a do-over.
We need a do-over. If the fellas can do a wrinkle in time and act like they're coming from the 1700s, us ladies can do a wrinkle in time. So today is officially International. I'm going to be with you all morning, ladies. I would be there in person, but I'm still contagious.
Feel better, Miss Hughes.
Hey, listen, nothing like the way Danni inspired me. I'm calling my doctor today, telling him I'm healed. I'm well. All right.
Yes.
Give us your very best as you do every single solitary morning. I'm right here. Okay, tuned in, your number one fan, Danni Starr.
Thank you so much, Miss Hughes.
And ladies,
I appreciate you. We love you too, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Hughes. We appreciate you. Get some rest. Get some orange juice.
Oh, no, I got a 4-hour show to do this morning.
Yes.
Don't say this. Go get some orange juice. I'll be right here with you for the duration, okay?
All right.
Thank you,
Love
Miss
you,
Hughes.
girl.
Love
All
you.
right,
Love you.
thank you. Love you. All right, the ladies take over. We'll continue next.
yeah.
Okay, well, yes.